This is my minimal desk setup that I've created so that I can go ahead and record my videos on this same desk as well as work on my full-time job and also edit all of my videos and photos. Now, because it is a minimal desk setup, there actually isn't much on the desk. I only have a few items, and that is so that I can be functional. I actually do move it back and forth quite a bit whenever I'm recording videos. I set it right here. Last week, I kind of went over how my home office or my studio setup looks so that whenever I'm actually recording, I have it here. But whenever I'm going to edit or work on anything else, I've been moving it over to that wall on that side. So then it sits this way. That way I can have more room to move around because it is kind of crowded back here and I can't even like scooch back without hitting the wall back there. Now the first part of my desk, and I think this is the most important part of any desk, that is the keyboard. And I think that because you are typing a lot on this, this is going to be the one item that I think you should make it sound and feel the way you want it to. Now I have the Keychron Q5. It's a 1800 keyboard, so it does have a number pad so I can, like I said, work on my spreadsheets, as well as having the arrow keys and the function rows up top. I actually don't use the F or function row a lot, but it is nice to have it up there to control the volume now that I don't have a knob on this keyboard. Now I did buy this keyboard bare bones, meaning it didn't come with switches or keycaps. I am currently running the Gateron Browns, the Pro ones, which come pre-lubed because I didn't want to spend time lubing all of these switches. And then I also have the YMDK Mac keycaps in the XDA profile. I really like the contrast between the black and white. If you haven't noticed, I like having a black background with some white accents. All of my accessories are white, so I made sure that the keycaps on this were all white as well. Now the next part of my desk setup is my PS5. Now if you're a content creator, I think it's really important that you also take time to relax and get away from working, because if you have a full-time job and you're a part-time creator, it's really difficult sometimes to really get any downtime. You kind of are stuck in this cycle of you got to go to work, then you get home and you continue to work. So it's really important to sit back and relax. I personally used my PS5 to play Warzone and then also any other games like God of War was the most recent one that I've also been playing. I never played it when it came out, so I'm running through that right now. Now the next thing on my desk is the most important, or I guess the most essential part of the desk setup. And I know I said the keyboard was really important, but without this, the keyboard can't run. And that is the laptop you are using or the computer you're using. I'm using the 16-inch MacBook Pro. I did get the base model to save some money. So it is the M1 Pro 16-inch. It's got like 256 gigabytes or 512. I honestly don't really use the internal storage. I have other external ways to save all of my data. So I don't really know how much it has, but I do use this. It does have a Nerd Graphics skin. Make sure you check Nerd Graphics out at nerdgraphics.com. Those are my skin designs that I sell, and I do have one on my MacBook. I really think it looks really great. It looks clean, it looks minimal, and like I said, all my accessories are white, so I made sure I chose a white one for my Mac. Now I've had this Mac for the past couple of months, and I think it's a really great machine if you're a content creator and you're going to be editing a lot of long form content. It works really great. It's portable, so you can take it anywhere with you, and then you can also edit anything on this MacBook. I made a video last week on the iPad and how it's a little bit limited because it's more for short form content creation, while the MacBook can do it all. Now, if you don't really like the form factor of a 16-inch, the 14-inch MacBook also has the same chipset inside. It's just a little bit smaller. It's a little bit more portable. So if you are into portability and you're going out a lot, I do recommend that you get the 14-inch instead of the 16-inch. Now, for when I do dock my MacBook, I do use a vertical stand and I hook it up straight to my LG monitor. This is the LG 32650 UNW. I remember that off the top of my head, and I haven't thought about that number in about 6 months. But this is a really great monitor. It does all of the basic things. It's 4K, it's 32 inches, and it works great for all of the productivity. You can set up multiple windows and be working on one side and have Slack open on the other side, so you can go through all of the communications as well. Now, whenever it comes to editing, I do like listening to music in the background. So what I tend to do is keep Spotify open on one side and then use the rest of the screen to edit. Now, I do have this monitor on a monitor arm. It's a Vivo monitor arm that I got from Amazon. It's not as height adjustable as I would like, but it does the job really well. And whenever I'm recording, I go ahead and move the monitor to this side. And then whenever I'm working, I set it up right here, right where the camera is. And like I mentioned, I do move the desk that way. So you'll see in the B-roll, I did shoot all of the B-roll while my desk setup was still over there. So you can go ahead and see how that looks. Now, the last desk accessory that I use is a Logitech MS Master 3. I know they came out with a 3S, it's a little bit quieter for the click, but I honestly don't like that feedback. If you're someone that really likes using the trackpad on a MacBook, it kind of feels like that. You really can't hear it, but you can feel that you push down, so it's almost like that tactile feedback. So if you really are into that, the MX Master 3S is also a great mouse. And the last thing about my desk setup is more for the content creation side. I do have a Focusrite audio interface. I have the Scarlett Solo. It's really nice. It lets me connect my XLR microphone straight into the audio interface, and the audio interface is USB-C, which I can hook up to my MacBook. Now, alongside the Focusrite, I do have my Sennheiser MKH600. That's my microphone of choice because it allows me to keep it out of frame and get great audio. Now, I no longer have the microphone on my camera like I used to because I found a cheap monitor arm off of Amazon. It was about $15 and it allows me to keep the microphone out of reach, or I guess out of the frame, and as well as keeping it always on my desk, always hooked up to the Focusrite for whenever in between the week I want to record any sort of vertical video for short form content creation. I can go ahead and still use this microphone, still get great audio, as well as hooking it up to my phone or the camera itself. Like I said, I only have about 6 items on my desk, so that's everything I have. It's really great because it keeps the desk lightweight for whenever I move it back and forth. Unfortunately, I don't have any casters on the desk, so I do have to kind of move it across the floor, just drag it so it's a little bit heavy. And I also would not like to have a lot of things on here for whenever it comes to record or edit, or whenever I want to do an overhead shot. I can go ahead and move everything out of the way, just my 2 little accessories of keyboard and mouse, and I can use this space here to do all of that. Now let me know down in the comments, what do you think of having a minimal desk setup like this, just so that you can keep the functionality of using it for 2 different things. Thank you for watching, and I will catch you on the next one.